What's up, sports bettors? Alex here, and we have 7 NBA games today. It looks like lines have been moving around, so lines actually slightly moving towards the Nets. You can see they're plus 115 on Caesars still, which seems like not horrible value considering Pinnacle. They only have 10 cents in market width. They're all the way down at plus 104. So you can see they just moved from plus 103 to plus 104. But anyways, in this video, I'm just going to be taking you through the best NBA bets that I'm on. And I'm just on one. So I say this all the time, but I try to keep it, real. And by that I mean just show you what I'm betting on. There's no fancy magic going on. I'm following the data, looking for betting opportunities, following the market, looking for value. Kind of like a day trader, right? Like I wake up in a day, I'm not saying, oh, I need to bet on the Nets. I'm saying, okay, I want to see what happens with injuries. I want to see what happens in the market. And if there's value on the Nets, I'll bet on the Nets. If there's value on the total, I'll bet on the total, right? So the first play I ended up going with is right here, under 231 points in Rockets Bulls. So you can see it's just the bet in bold with a circle. It's a positive EV play. So there's also some plays on Prize Picks. I haven't found something to pair them with, but I'll share them with you. So you can see right here, again, we have a play on the total. Lines are moving around. You can see lines moving right here. Line movements are highlighted in red and green. The second in odd ticks, you'll see that on the screen. Red and green kind of highlights line movements. And the goal is to draw your eyes to it, right? So as a day trader, as a sports day trader, as a sports bettor, you know where the market's moving. Because you can see in the Nets game, that appears where most of the line movement is. That's where most of the sports books are moving around odds. And unsurprisingly, that's where you have a crossed market, right? You have an arbitrage bet. You can get plus 115 on Caesars for the Nets, and the Cavs are minus 114 on Pinnacle, which is, Pinnacle is just, we copy Pinnacle for our OddsJam column. So anyways, let me zoom out a bit. Actually, it's a little too zoomed in for me, and I can switch over and show you a play in player assist that I like as well. But anyways, let's go back to my first bet. So my first bet is right here, right? Under 231 points in Rockets Bulls. This percent column is just your profit margin. So typically when I'm using OddsJam, right, I just filter for the sports books I use, which you can kind of see right here. These are the main sports books I'm using currently. I'm doing an NBA video, so you can filter for NBA, but you can, filter for whatever sport you want. However, what I recommend is betting on every sport. So I also bet this, which I'll show you in a bit, but a soccer play, because again, why wouldn't you want a profitable bet? Who cares if you're not going to watch the game? I'm definitely not watching Chelsea versus Bournemouth, but if there's value, and you can see they limited me, 63.30 was my wager, and it says now max wager $0, so that's the max they gave me. But again, as a sharp bettor, I want as many profitable bets as possible. I'm literally, essentially, forming a portfolio of data-driven, profitable plays with an edge. Not every bet's going to win, but because all my plays have a positive profit margin, as listed under this percent column, I know I'm going to win long term. So let's go back here. I'm on the under 231, right? 2.38% profit margin, and I hit that for $300. So DraftKings has this minus 125, and lines were moving lower. In the same way we saw, the money lines moving around, it's the same thing for player props, it's the same thing for everything, right? So here's actually a play I like. Again, I haven't found something to pair it with yet, but, Paul George, over 5 assists on Underdog Fantasy seems like pretty good value. You can see Prize Picks has the line at 5.5. Their direct competitor. These are both fantasy sites, and every other sportsbook is at 5.5 as well. Underdog's at 5. Granted, sportsbooks have the under slightly juiced, but most sportsbooks aren't even laying plus money on Paul George over 5 assists. PointsBet minus 106, Desert Diamond minus 109, Barstool minus 109, DraftKings plus 100. So you get the point that, the reason I'm attracted to this bet, or what drew my eyes to it, is Underdog has a different line, 5, than all the sports books, 5.5, and Prize Picks, their direct competitor. So it's okay, seems like that's an interesting spot. There may be some value enough to beat the vig, beat the juice, and enough to find a profitable play. So I zoned in on this. Again, I haven't found something to pair it with, so I didn't bet it yet because on Underdog Fantasy, it's only parlays, so you need a few plays before you can lock in anything. But regardless, this is an example of a play I'd want to go with. So let's go back here. The first play I ended up locking in under 231 in Rockets Bulls. Clear value. Bovada and Bodog have this line available as well. Line started moving lower. Pinnacle dropped to minus 126. My bookie minus 135. WinBet, DraftKings, Barstool minus 125s, minus 134. So as a sharp bettor, we're following the line movements and we're hunting for value. It's really that simple. Like, people complicate sports betting, like, oh, it's about the sports, the matchups, the lineups. It's like, yeah, but it's all reflected in the market. In the same way an investor is watching real-time market data in a Bloomberg terminal, a day trader, and they're looking for value in the market. It's no different as a sports bettor. You want to follow the numbers. Here, DraftKings has this minus 125. Basically, every book has this minus 125 to minus 135. You can get it minus 110. Seems pretty good, like a play you want to lock in. And it's same for the soccer bet I locked in. Chelsea over 2.5 team total goals. Plus 158 on FanDuel. You can see BetMGM plus 120, like no other book, giving us above plus 145. Seems like pretty good value, right? These have tight market widths as well, right? 19 cents here, 20 cents here. So plus 158 seems like pretty dang good value. So I maxed both bets for really what I could get down, $300 here, 63.30 here. And, that's basically it. Like, that's positive EV betting every day. Wake up, follow the value, check the market, move fast. You're day trading sports. Great lines don't last forever. Like, if these plays aren't available, I'm sorry, but I don't control, you can see this Chelsea play is, but I don't control when sportsbooks move lines. If a line is really good and they realize it's sharp and our bet as the sports bettor has an edge, they're going to want to move the line against us, right? So these two plays I locked in, 845 in total profit margin. I added this to my spreadsheet, for YouTube videos, just sports bets, no promos, no fantasy BS. Since, September 12th, we're up 42K. Doesn't seem bad. 2 bets I got on for today. Only one's an NBA bet. But again, I'm trying to highlight the point. Like, you should be betting on every sport. Anyways, let's make money.